welcome back to the Unfiltered Trainer podcast. I am your host, Gina, aka Gina Marie Fit, and we are officially into 2024. Y'all, we are 2 days away from February, which, if you're anything like me, means that officially 2024 can start, because we all know that January is like this weird coma. We had 3 holidays in like 30 days. We don't know what day of the week it is. We're just going on autopilot. And so January to me is your time to reset, recover, figure out where you're at. And then February is where the real year starts. And so we're kicking off the new year with 5 ways to optimize your training. But before we get into that, if y'all are anywhere in the Tampa Bay area and you're listening to this, I need you to listen up. Last year, I had it on my heart that I wanted to host a charity event, bringing together all of the studios in my local downtown area and then benefit one of the charity organizations that was directly giving back to the community I live in, that I'm a part of. And we called it Coming Together for a Cause. And it has just been on my heart for so long to expand that. And I've created what is called Sweating Together for a Cause. And so there's an Instagram page. You can go and check it out. Even if you're not local, you can go and support it. But it's going to be a monthly community page where I'm going to be showcasing fitness events, charity events, health and wellness events, anything that is honestly people doing the most for the community that is Tampa and giving back. And so I want to highlight, if you're a personal trainer, group fitness instructor, you own a nonprofit, you work at a nonprofit, if you are doing something for the city, I want you to let me know what you're doing, how I can help you, and I want to spotlight you on my page. I am actually in conversations about expanding my charity event. So I have meetings when this goes live. I have some big meetings this week, and I will have more to share when that all becomes official. But I'm nervous, I'm giddy, I'm excited. This passion project is something that just like lights my soul on fire, and this is Gina. The most I felt like myself last year was hosting that event, because it's just something I would normally do. It's something I did back home. It's something I've done in a lot of the cities I've actually lived in as a traveling therapist, found ways to give back. Tampa has become my home. I've chosen to stay here longer than I've lived anywhere else in my life, which is so crazy to say because I never lived anywhere longer than 9 months until I came to Tampa. And so part of my goal in 2024, as I have rid myself of toxic situations, I've been working on my mental health, I'm still recovering from my traumatic brain injury, is that I want to fall in love with Tampa again. And I want to feel like myself. I want to genuinely be happy. And I've felt like that lately. It's so crazy, but some of my coworkers have even said Gina, are you feeling better? Because you seem like yourself again. And I could cry, honestly. It's the most refreshing thing that people notice that she is in there. To the external shell, I look fine. I look normal. But if you have a conversation with me, or you see me at the end of the day, or you have been a part of the 5 months now since my accident, that I'm not myself, and I've actually really been going through it, and I still am not ready to talk about it on this podcast because it makes me emotional, and I'm very much still having issues. And we have had the conversation with the doctor that there might be things that don't come back. And so I'm meeting with my neurologist on Wednesday this week, and we're going to have a conversation and talk about my therapy and everything I've been doing. And then we're going to go from there. And so that's kind of why this is igniting a soul in my heart, honestly, is I'm so grateful to be alive. And if you know me and you listen to the birthday episode, you know that in July and August, when I started having panic attacks, I couldn't say those words. And it's just so crazy to me that 6 months later, I am the version you are seeing or listening to. I'm going to be trying to video some of my podcasts. It's going to be a process, guys, so bear with me. But I want to share some video clips and stuff. And so I'm working on finding the right podcast studio for myself as well, because I have these monthly interviews I want to do. And because I want to spotlight people in the city, people who are doing the most, thought leaders, people that are hustling, people that have been through some serious stuff, I want to spotlight them. but I want to do it with video. And so I'm working on trying to figure out a partnership with a podcast studio or somebody that can help me make this happen. So in the meantime, I'm going to try to do some video clips while I'm like recording this podcast, and I'm staring at this phone right now as I'm looking at my laptop and watching the back end of my Audacity software. And just sometimes I just have to crack up because I don't know, y'all. I've always been the type that does the most, but I'm really pushing my own work ethic and envelope right now for my capacity. But I don't know, I'm grinning from ear to ear because it's cool to feel happy. And if you're out there and you have been going through it, or you also had a really rough 2023, or maybe you've had multiple rough years, we're going to talk about it in our Life After Loss episode, what 3.5 years of straight grief, loss, what that did to me for a while. And it's just crazy to think like what happens when you're on the other side of a really dark time. And so I can't tell you how you're going to get there, but what I can tell you is that I'm grateful that I'm still here. And I know if you're listening to this, we probably have some similarities, and I'm a resilient person. I've been through some stuff, and somehow I came out on the other side, and I came out fairly okay. I'm definitely got some issues. I definitely am, still a big work in progress. But I think that's the beautiful thing about life, is that if you're still here, you are a work in progress. And that means we still have time to keep being better. And so if you're going through it, just know I'm always a source to listen. I will not judge you. I have no room to judge anybody. But if you need somebody to be in your corner and to support you, just know that can be me. And I can always send you a little positive message, or my friends know that I love to send video messages. They're so random. I always look a hot mess as I do in this video right now. But I don't know. There's just something about knowing you have somebody in your corner. And I'm so blessed to have so many people in my corner that I want to keep paying that forward for the duration of my existence. But definitely this year, because it really took a village to get me to this point. And I have so many things I've planned for this year that just, I don't know, y'all. It's like my soul has been ignited on fire and it feels good. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into it, because not only am I the founder of a charity organization, I'm a healthcare worker, I'm a person that has a lot going on in their life and has been through a lot, but I'm also a personal trainer. I have my own LLC, Gina Marie Fit. I do one-on-one coaching. I do workout guides. I have a free fitness community. I wanted to have a price point for everybody. One-on-one coaching is expensive. It's a lot of time, y'all. And I have a course that goes along with it for my one-on-one clients. And so I created workout guides so that you could get the best of the fitness side of me. And then I have a free community, which we actually have our first, which is so crazy. So much is happening this week. It's so exciting. We have our first 7-day free challenge. It's starting on February 4th. It's running for 7 days. It's called Revitalize Your Vibe. I'm going to be giving you guys energy tips, health and wellness tips, mental health tips, 7 days of free fun workouts you can do from anywhere. And then you guys will be able to be a part of my free fitness community and stay in there every single day. There's something I post, a video, some information. It's just a free place to make friends. We do a local meetup tab in there. And so when we do local meetups, I open them to anybody. So if you're in Tampa and you're like, hey, I want friends that don't suck and that are nice and supportive, then this is going to be the place for you. So you guys can see in my show notes that everything is going to be linked there. Sweating Together for a Cause's Instagram page is on there, my free fitness community, and then all of the links for my wellness coaching are there. And I'm also the head coach of Body Fit Training Tampa, which is really crazy and scary to say, is opening in a month from when this podcast goes live. We will be open our first studio in Tampa. We're bringing it, y'all. The more I learn about it, the more I expand, the more I work with this team. When I say game changer, like I'm not like blowing smoke. they are not playing games and they are just bringing it from every direction. I've been explaining it to people that if you've done group fitness before, it's like the missing link in group fitness. You've got these levels and these programs that progress, but there's this missing link between doing a strength and cardio HIIT training based program. And then when you kind of plateau or you get bored, you've been doing it for a long time, a lot of people just go to a box gym and they think they know enough. And then they realize they don't. And there was no middle ground. Body fit training is that middle ground in an elevated, innovative, results-driven way. And so we do boot camps on the second and fourth Monday of every month at Armature Works on the lawn. It's like the side lawn there. But we are bringing our studio. The doors are opening officially in a month. And so I am the head coach of that. And I mean, it means so much to be on the founding team. And so my heart is like all in. I spend so much time thinking about stuff, doing stuff. And so if you're in the area and you want to come take class and you want to see what it's like you can DM me, you can come to the studio. We do meet the team nights, but it's like crazy, y'all. But like February is going to pop off. And so what we need to do in the meantime is how do we optimize what we're doing? And so I wanted to do this health and fitness episode talking about the ways to optimize your training in 2024, because sometimes I feel like we get into a rut. We keep doing the same things because we don't know any better or it's comfortable. I know that it's been scary for me going new places, taking new classes, and now since my brain injury, there's a lot of things I still physically can't do yet. And so I've been learning to work with the body I'm in and trying to accept the body I am currently working to improve. And so what made me want to do this is something that happens in training is that any person can train no matter what they're doing. And there are ways that you can actually utilize to progress and overcome a plateau or aid in your transformation. And so these are my 5 favorite ways to coach clients and how to optimize their training programs. And so number 1, and this is where I am just like, I am honestly like superb, and I'm not like trying to boast here, but my organization skills and ability to handle a lot is very clear by like 10-minute intro we just did talking about everything I have going on. I am somebody that juggles multiple jobs, has a lot of responsibility, and everything gets done, and it gets done early, if not right on time. And so that happens because I know my priorities. And so number 1 is letting your priorities dictate your routine. And what I mean is that you first need to determine what's most important in your life. It seems cliche, I know, but when you understand the why behind something, it's so much easier to create a routine around it. And then you can build your routine around those priorities. And it makes it significantly easier for what you are doing. And you know what you need and want versus doing something because you feel like you have to. And so a way to make this possible, you have to be ready to adapt when your priorities change, honestly. Fitness may not be at the center of your priorities always. And I know there are personal trainers out there that are going to want to come for me right now for saying that, but it's the God's honest truth, y'all. I did not expect when I was driving home 5 months ago, getting off the exit from my apartment, for somebody to hit me at 70 miles an hour on my driver's side. And there's a lot of moving pieces in how that accident happened that pretty much God, the universe are responsible for why I'm sitting here having this conversation with you. And that literally took somebody that was on their BS, doing their thing, and completely uprooted and changed every single aspect of my life and what was a priority in my life. And so when you're sitting down having this conversation with yourself, which is why I think it's important to have this podcast in January, because we are dictating our 2024. We've had that time, we've rested, we've recovered, the holiday coma is now over. And now that that fog is clearing, we are deciding what we want, who we want to be, and where we're going forward from now. And so because of that, This is the time that you're going to list those priorities. What is a priority in your life? Get out a piece of paper and write down what is a priority for you. In your ideal world this year, what do you want to see happen? How do you want to feel? What do you want to manifest from that? And then you're going to reverse engineer your goals around the priorities that are most important. And you have to make these decisions. No one else can make these decisions for you. You have to decide what's going to be a priority this year. And if that is your health and fitness, then awesome. If it's something that you want to have as your third or fourth thing on your list, that it's a priority, but it's not your first priority, that's great too. Whatever that list is for you, you just have to make sure that if your training is included in that you're making a point to make it make sense for yourself and not to overstress yourself or overtrain yourself, but you have to make sure that the things you're doing and the actions you're taking align with what you said your priorities are. And so before we talk about any training style tips or nutrition, you got to figure out what your why is and what you're trying to achieve and what is most important in your life. And of course you are, but that doesn't necessarily mean a six-pack or booty goals. That could just mean moving your body to feel better about yourself as you're going through something this year. And so let's start there. Let's set the foundation for where we're going in this podcast, and let's figure out what are your priorities, and then we're going to dictate our routine by what's most important for us. Number 2, we're going to upgrade our training style this year. Y'all, I'm serious when I talk about there's no reason to just keep doing what you're doing if it ain't working for you, or if you're bored, or if you want to try something new and you're so afraid to go by yourself. Hello, that's part of the reason why I created Sweating Together for a Cause. I have made some of my best friends at workouts, at yoga events, at the workouts at Armature, or the workouts at Sparkman Wharf, or the workout at Water Street. I met so many nice people at the Water Street Be Well Boot Camp last year. I want you to know that as I'm creating this calendar, I stopped counting. There's at least 25 things, like 25 posts I have to make for Sweating for a Cause for the month of February, and this is just getting started. So you don't have to plateau. You don't have to be bored. And what's nice, is 90% of the events I'm going to be posting are free. So even if you don't want to change your routine, you just want to add something to it, here's your opportunity. Follow Sweating Together for a Cause, and you will see all of the events happening in the greater Tampa Bay area. And then you can incorporate one of those or go out and just meet different people. There's nothing better than expanding your group and being around a diverse amount of people so that you can have really great discussions and learn and just be a better human being. And so in order to upgrade your training style, I'm going to break down 4 of my favorite ways I take my clients through optimizing their training through upgrading it. And so number 1, if you know me, you know this. I love time under tension. I love Pilates. I love core reform in Midtown. I love slow tempo movements, and I love fatiguing the muscles as best as you can. And that actually doesn't always come with lifting a heavier weight. And so time under tension means slow reps that are about control and contraction. Usually it's a 3 to 4 second tempo. If you ever work out with me or train with me, you know RDLs is a great example here. A Romanian deadlift, 4 seconds. 4 seconds on the way down, pause, 1 second on the way up, intentionally contracting those muscles. There's no reason to be going fast with an RDL. Go slow, get the stretch on your glutes, but this enables your muscles to be strained for longer, which will help you optimize your training. Number 2, introduce drop sets. And so drop sets are a great way, when done right, FYI, to progress past a plateau. And so they work by forcing more reps out of dropping weight off gradually, which means it's going to increase your blood flow to those targeted muscle groups, and it causes more muscles to tear, and then they grow after they repair. So simple concept that probably seemed like a lot. So I'm going to break it down for you. All you have to do is perform a set of reps, okay? You're going to perform to the point you can't perform anymore, okay? Then you're going to drop the weight and you're going to do another set, and then you're going to drop the weight again. So you're going to start at your normal weight and just keep dropping weight as you're going through that rack. They call it down the rack. Sometimes you'll hear it said like that. Usually 3 to 6 sets in total, but you're decreasing your weight as you're progressing through that rack until you are fatigued. And so you have to be mindful of the weight selection and the amount of reps you're doing here. You don't want to have an overuse, no injuries, but this is a great way to keep progressing to really fatigue that group of muscles and build your body to be optimized for your training. Number 3, you're going to utilize supersets. Supersets are one of the most effective ways to promote growth in a stubborn muscle group. And so it's great because it's usually a big compound exercise followed by an isolation movement. And so a great example for this is the bench press followed by a fly. It doesn't have to be a large weight exercise. It's not all about squat racks and bench presses. You want to be slowing down, squeezing those muscles. And another example, if you aren't someone that's utilizing a barbell, is simply a military press into a front raise. So you have those muscle groups, you have your compound lifts, but the whole point of this is to have that superset, increase your weight selection, increase the variety, and you're pairing things properly. So you could have a squat and a leg extension, a wide grip pull up into a straight arm pull down. You want to utilize those sets together, and then it doesn't have to be all about the weight. It's just about the intention. Or is to incorporate negatives. Negatives can be extremely helpful in building your strength and working up to exercises and weights to beat your plateaus and to build muscle. Negatives are where you focus on the negative part of the movement by using those heavy weights, but it's more than your 1 rep max in a slow movement. So you're utilizing a spotter, especially if you're on the bench press, but you can do this with barbell curls, pull-ups, close grip bench presses. You're just focusing on that negative, that eccentric lowering, and making sure that when you're going up, you may have that spotter just in case, so you have safety and control. But it's really grateful. It's just helpful in building strength, and you're just utilizing that opposing movement pattern because you're focusing on that negative, but utilizing heavy weights as well with that slow controlled movement pattern. Okay, and the 5th way to change up your training style is called progressive overload. It is a type of strength training that gradually increases the intensity of your workouts, which helps you avoid plateaus in muscle mass and strength. The primary benefit is that it helps a person be prevented from reaching a point where their normal exercise routine is no longer challenging or effective. So when you utilize progressive overload in your training, it's a method that usually involves choosing a goal. You're working at what is a comfortable but challenging level, and then you're increasing the intensity of your workouts over time. Usually there can be a decrease in rest period, you're adding more weight, you're changing your repetitions or your sets. But overall, the premise is that you're strategically stressing the muscles, which maximizes your strength gains while minimizing the possibility of injury and burnout. And the only reason why I'm just touching on this and not going into too many specifics is because progressive overload has to be done right, and it involves following a format and a plan, and you have good programming. And that's why personal training is super important, because that is what's necessary to properly teach somebody how to utilize the concepts behind progressive overload, because there's not one type of progressive overload. There's a lot of ways that you can incorporate progressive overload. And so that is why you want to have a specific set plan and goal to prevent injury. Prioritize your warm-up, your recovery, and your mobility. Yeah, and I'm smiling as I say this in this camera right now, because there's nothing more annoying than people that take a class and don't stretch before or after. Y'all, are you trying to get injured? Like, it's pretty much just job security for us in the healthcare field, because people do really silly things because they're always in a hurry or they think they know better. It's so important to have a proper dynamic warm-up and a sufficient amount of recovery and mobility training. And so you should prioritize all three if you're trying to optimize your training in 2024. In your warm-up, by making it dynamic, you want to utilize body weight moves that mimic your workout you're about to perform because it increases your blood flow to those muscle groups, which improves your range of motion, and it helps you to avoid compromising muscles and tendons with those elastic properties so you don't increase your risk for injury. Mobility. That is when we address how we decrease our risk for injury, improve posture, improve your body awareness, decrease your muscle tightness, improve your balance, improve your performance, increase your strength capabilities, decrease your pain, y'all, it improves your circulation and aids in recovery. Do you realize how important all those things are? Seriously, why are you skipping your mobility? Like, people are so focused on lifting heavier. They think that's the only way to progress your training. And if that's all your trainer's telling you to do, I'm not trying to be rude, but this is called the Unfiltered Trainer for a reason. And if all your trainer tells you to do is lift a heavier weight, get a new trainer. There's so much more you can do than just lift heavier to get better and optimize your training. So if that's all you hear, let me just tell you, it's time to get yourself a new trainer. And I'm not apologizing for what I'm saying. Last thing on this little section is recovery, injury prevention, y'all. It encourages better sleep. Hello. It helps you to prevent overtraining. It promotes your muscle growth. It improves your blood circulation, which, improves your waste production with removing your waste. So that means from your soft tissues that have been broken down by intense exercise. So it actually helps to remove that waste. It can help you to boost your immune system, reduce your lactic acid that's built up in your muscles. So think refuel, rebuild, rehydrate. So simple. Triple R's. Refuel, rebuild, rehydrate. You want to prioritize your warm-up, your recovery, and your mobility if you're truly trying to optimize your training in 2024. Now, you know it had to be coming. Number 4 is to refuel. Such a crazy concept, but every time we have a big strength training workout when I teach group fitness classes, we talk about intake and what you're going to do when you leave that studio, because eating a nutrient-dense lifestyle that includes proteins, carbs, healthy fats, micronutrients, it's key to optimizing your performance for your training sessions. Sadly, you hear so often people talk about protein. Like, do you eat your protein today? Yes, protein is great for supporting muscle growth. It's 2024. We all know this. It's great for synthesis and repair between your sessions. But y'all, carbs are also important because they're the MVP for your performance. When you consume carbs throughout your day, especially before a big gym session, research has proven it improves your performance significantly. So if you're out here thinking that carbs are not it, they're the devil, they're the reason why you're going to gain weight, y'all, no, come on, we're better than this. Remember, a couple podcasts ago, we talked about how we're not going to follow trendy things in 2024 and influencers that don't know what we're talking about. We're going to talk about evidence-based science things, which is why I love BFT, because they're so about science, and it's just how you're going to notice the difference in the training when you come take my class. Anyways, don't forget, it's not just about protein or carbs, y'all. Healthy fats are also another thing that you're going to benefit from to aid in your exercises that you do at a lower intensity. Fat actually supports that healthy hormone production, which is essential for your performance. So yes, we know you need protein for muscle building. Yes, you actually need carbs. You have to remember too that a lot of people do fasted workouts. That's fine. If you have your quick digesting carbs prior to a session, it's been found to help improve your work capacity and your endurance. But if you're one of these people that's focused on muscle growth, you're trying to build a booty, as everybody says, or you want to get stronger, you can't negate an entire food group. You need everything, macro and micronutrients, for sufficient production in your weight training. We also know, guys, that it's important that you're not only eating nutrient-dense items, but that you're eating enough. I said this a few podcasts ago when we were talking about cutting and bulking, that how scary it is as an online coach and personal trainer in a gym, how much people undereat. And if you listen to my body dysmorphia episode, you know that I was that person. It's super important that not only about what you're eating, but that you're eating enough. Because when you underfuel from day to day, you're lacking in providing your body with a sufficient amount of nutrients and energy sources that it's going to need to function best, which is going to negatively affect your performance. It will add up. You'll feel exhausted in the gym. Your output will decrease. You will not be able to lift as much, and your RPE will be higher just doing regular movements because your body is exhausted. So be mindful that refueling includes nutrient-dense items, but it also means that you're eating enough to sustain your gains. Number 5. How are we going to optimize our training in 2024? You probably think it's going to have something to do with a muscle or a weight selection. And actually, it has to do with hydration. Yeah, drink your water. If you're seeing this clip, you know the Hydrodrug Traveler. I am not sponsored, but Hydrodrug, if you'd like to sponsor me, now is the time. I would love to get in on the next drop. No, honestly, guys, all jokes aside, I did not drink a lot of water traveling around for work. I got the Hydrodrug Traveler, and it has this straw that's built in that closes. It collapses in the lid, and the lid actually closes on it. So when you knock it over like you do in the gym because you're going to, or you throw it in your gym bag, it's not going to leak. But the straw is like a softer plastic material than other cups I have. And for some reason, I drink more water when I have my Hydrodrug Traveler. So, okay, and the 5th way to change up your training style is called progressive overload. It is a type of strength training that gradually increases the intensity of your workouts, which helps you avoid plateaus in muscle mass and strength. The primary benefit is that it helps a person be prevented from reaching a point where their normal exercise routine is no longer challenging or effective. So when you utilize progressive overload in your training, it's a method that usually involves choosing a goal. You're working at what is a comfortable but challenging level, and then you're increasing the intensity of your workouts over time. Usually there can be a decrease in rest period, you're adding more weight, you're changing your repetitions or your sets. But overall, the premise is that you're strategically stressing the muscles, which maximizes your strength gains while minimizing the possibility of injury and burnout. And the only reason why I'm just touching on this and not going into too many specifics is because progressive overload has to be done right, and it involves following a format and a plan, and you have good programming. And that's why personal training is super important, because that is what's necessary to properly teach somebody how to utilize the concepts behind progressive overload, because there's not one type of progressive overload. There's a lot of ways that you can incorporate progressive overload. And so that is why you want to have a specific set plan and goal to prevent injury. Stop worrying about it being aesthetically pleasing or having the right fit or the right angle. Who cares if somebody's judging you for the way you look in a gym or what you're wearing? Let's be honest, they're lame. If anybody's judging you when you're out here trying to be the best version of you, you don't want them in your life anyways. So let's just say peace out if you're lame and judging anybody in the gym, especially you baddies in the gym that are consistent and get annoyed when new people come to the gym. There's a reason why gym intimidation is a thing. Can you just be the person that nicely helps them, shows them where something is if they're lost, encourages them to do a class with you? If you see somebody and you know they're new, don't be that person that discourages them, okay? Karma's real and energy is real, and it will come back to bite you in the ass. So be good to those people. And remember, we all started somewhere, and it's because somebody inspired and empowered. Okay. And the 5th way to change up your training style is called progressive overload. It is a type of strength training that gradually increases the intensity of your workouts, which helps you avoid plateaus in muscle mass and strength. The primary benefit is that it helps a person be prevented from reaching a point where their normal exercise routine is no longer challenging or effective. So when you utilize progressive overload in your training, it's a method that usually involves choosing a goal. You're working at what is a comfortable but challenging level, and then you're increasing the intensity of your workouts over time. Usually there can be a decrease in rest period, you're adding more weight, you're changing your repetitions or your sets. But overall, the premise is that you're strategically stressing the muscles, which maximizes your strength gains while minimizing the possibility of injury and burnout. And the only reason why I'm just touching on this and not going into too many specifics is because progressive overload has to be done right, and it involves following a format and a plan, and you have good programming. And that's why personal training is super important, because that is what's necessary to properly teach somebody how to utilize the concepts behind progressive overload, because there's not one type of progressive overload. There's a lot of ways that you can incorporate progressive overload. And so that is why you want to have a specific set plan and goal to prevent injury. Us to be better, that we're in the position we're in today. So go out and be that person today. And that's going to be your call to action, is whether it's at the gym or at the grocery store or walking down the street. If you see somebody in need, if you see somebody's having a hard time, or you know what, you're standing in line, drum up a conversation. Be human. Can we put the human back in human being in 2024 and just be nicer to people? Like, why do people have to be petty? Life is hard enough as is. We don't need petty people in our lives. We don't need rude people at the gym. We don't need people judging people who are new trying to figure it out. There are so many reasons why people are in the gym. It's a lot more than just building muscle and trying to build a physique. There's a huge mental health component to why people go to the gym. And for some people, it's the community aspect to be around people. So let's just be better human beings in 2024. Okay? All right. Let's talk about the little recap of everything happening right now as well, because there's a lot going on. So you guys know that the Unfiltered Trainer is on Spotify, it's on Apple, and it is also on YouTube Studios now. So make sure you subscribe. I am doing monthly giveaways for people who leave a comment. So a 5-star review and comment. Leave that review, send me a screenshot, let me know. You can send it to the Unfiltered Trainer podcast Instagram page or TikTok page, because we are officially on TikTok when this episode drops. The TikTok page will have been launched on Monday. And so you can send it to that or DM me on Instagram. But I'm going to do a giveaway winner every single month. So leave a 5-star review. There has to be a comment along with it so I can see it. And then I will enter you in my monthly giveaway. Don't forget, if you are local or on Instagram, please go and like Sweating Together for a Cause. I really want to get this group out there and do the most to give back to local organizations and help inspire other people to do the same. And then if you're looking for personal training online, workout guides, or want to be a part of my 7-day Revitalize Your Vibe, it starts on February 4th. You can find that. It's linked in the show notes, and it's also linked in my bio on Instagram, but the group is free. No charge. The workout guides are $20. They're reasonable. And my one-on-one coaching has a variety. So there's 3 different options with my coaching. So if you're interested in that, I have a form you can fill out. And I'm officially taking on personal clients again as of February 2024. So y'all, without further ado, I just want to say thank you for helping to make all of my dreams come true, for supporting me through one of the most toxic, hard years of my life, and seeing me through to the point we are at today. I'm super excited for where this is going, and I hope that you go out and have yourself a great day. All right, y'all, stay tuned, and we will chat soon.